Viola Spolin, she created this beautiful form of art known as improvisation theatre. And during the Great Depression in 1929, she was able to sell out all of the seats to her shows. And what she taught people was that you don't need a lot in order to create magic. That there is so much that comes from being creative, especially when you are scarce. And this form of art theatre meant that people were able to create connection, that even during the Great Depression, they were able to go to shows and they were able to enjoy entertainment without having a lot. So all she needed on stage was to set up 2 chairs and people who came with their passion and they came with intent, and they were able to create amazing pieces of improvised art. What's evolved recently is that we realized that this form of improvisational theatre, hi Anmal, good to see you. This form of improvisational theatre has so many therapeutic benefits, specifically with CBT. So for example, mental health therapists are now recommending this to people who have anxiety or depression, or to anyone who is feeling lonely and they want to feel more connected and more part of a community. Now, the interesting thing is that introverts are actually one of the greatest improvisers, because we're more self-aware, we're more reflective, we have these incredible senses of imagination. So if you're an introvert like me and you've had moments where you're like, why didn't I say that thing that I really wanted to say? Why didn't I speak up in that meeting? Why did I dismiss my feelings? Why was I always putting someone else first? Improv essentially helps you to really make that shift into forgiving yourself and to understand that it's not your fault. Here's why it's not your fault: because we are predominantly living with this reptilian brain that is like a hunter-gatherer's brain from hundreds of thousands of years ago. And what it means is that you think, okay, if I say something that is out of line of the tribe, I'm going to get kicked out and I'm going to have to go and hunt by myself. I'm not going to be able to survive. So I'm just going to keep the peace. I'm going to conform. I'm just going to align with these social norms, and that's how I'm going to survive. So your brain is always thinking that, because it thinks that you are constantly facing threats that you no longer are currently facing in this modern world. So what that means is that in this modern world, we're actually betraying our authentic selves. We're finding times where we need to compromise and just suppress our creative energy, or suppress that thing that we know is right and that we really need to say, but we're not saying it because, especially as women, we're taught to just keep the peace and not make a ruckus. So all it takes is this small shift from knowing that you can respect other people's opinions, and also it is just as important to voice your own, because what you say matters and who you are matters. So with improv, it's this sense of understanding that vulnerability is your power. As Brene Brown says, vulnerability is your power, but understanding what does it feel like to be vulnerable, knowing that you can be vulnerable and that you're not going to, get chased down by a lion, that it's safe and that you can overcome those moments. Thanks, Amal. And knowing that you don't need to be confident in order to do these things, because courage is a precursor to confidence. And having courage means that you can feel the fear and do it anyway. In fact, that's usually what happens. You feel the fear and you do it anyway. And over time, that repetition makes you feel more and more confident as you start to know what it feels like to really trust your gut. So I am running an improv class in Summerhill in August. It is on Sunday mornings from 10 to 12. And it is free. It's completely free, because the Little Big House in Summerhill is all about connecting communities and creating new friendships and really finding joy in creativity. So I partnered up with them and I am offering this 7-week course completely free. Here are some of the things that we are going to be covering in this course. especially if you feel like you want to be able to predict the future and you want to be able to read people's body language and to know what they're thinking just by reading their expressions, being in tune with their tone, actively listening. That is your superpower. So you're going to be able to say, for example, before going on a date, you're going to be able to know what are the red flags, both instinctively and by looking at the consistency of behavior, so that you're not going to have to waste time with this person later on down the track. Another big issue that we're going to cover is creating boundaries and setting boundaries. Now, the interesting thing for introverts is that because we tend to be such givers, people often take. And what the research shows from Adam Grant he's an organizational psychologist, is the people that are most successful and the people that are least successful, they are both givers. But here's the thing, the people who are most successful have boundaries. And so if you know how to create boundaries whilst you are such a giving person, you're going to be able to attract more of that success and you're going to be able to hold your ground. We're also going to cover adapting and thinking creatively in any situation, because you've got to be agile, especially if you're negotiating a deal. You don't want to be saying to yourself things in the car that you could have said in front of the customer. And the other thing that's really important is really just experiencing the joy of connection, because so many times and so many things in our lives we get bombarded. There's AI. It's like, do we even need to talk to another human being now? What we've really forgotten is that when you're socializing, connecting with people, you're getting dopamine, you're getting endorphins, you're getting serotonin, you're getting all these amazing chemicals that your body craves for and your body needs in order to feel sane. Because we haven't grown, humanity has not developed with ChatGPT and all these tools. We've developed by relying on each other and creating these community and creating these social bonds. And I think that's going to be a really big thing that we're going to go back to as the world continues to evolve. So I'm going to be creating a whole bunch of videos about how improv can help you in your life. Here is a big tip. By the way, if you ever feel like you're cornered and you're being suffocated by someone and they're trying to, get you to and manipulate you into doing something, one of the best things to do is to just take a deep breath and just think, okay, what's my next thought going to be? And the moment that you take a deep breath, you reclaim your power. You are able to have clearer thoughts and the oxygen basically floods to your brain. Interesting fact, the difference between Clark Kent and Superman is 2 inches. It's posture. So by taking a deep breath, you're able to recollect your thoughts and you're able to recollect your posture and reclaim your power. So like I said, I'm going to put the link below to the class. It is absolutely free, 6th of August to the 17th of September for 7 weeks. And we're basically going to be having fun and just going on this incredible creative journey so that you can really connect with your authentic self and really know that if you replicate those things outside of these things that are bothering you in the real world, you can create role plays and replicate them in a safe and fun environment and know that you're going to be safe and that you already have the tools that is required to overcome them. You could pretty much do that out in the real world. I am on this mission to help people like you and all these other introverts realize that you are more powerful than you realize, that you can be in a situation and you can say to yourself, improv got me here, right? You could be about to jump off to be bungee jumping, and you can say, okay, I got this because improv got me here. You could be making a speech at someone's wedding and you can say, I'm really nervous, but I practice and I'm going to be authentic because improv got me here. You could be feeling really despondent because you need to say something in a meeting, but then you just don't know how it's going to be taken. You can say, you know what, improv got me here. I am going to say it anyway because it is the right thing to do. So I can't wait to meet all of you. Thanks for everyone who is still watching. I'm going to include the link below, Improv for Introverts. Bring your friends, bring your family. We're going to have so much fun, and I will see you in class. Take care, guys.